Yes, hello everyone. My name is Tung, but you can call me Elizabeth. Today I'm very happy to be here to practice English by myself. Yes, today I'm busy, so I can't join uh, classes. So I don't have any new lesson. I will write it home lesson today. Uh, yes, I will. Uh, I think that I will try the yes, we don't have we don't have um, I will practice about the vocabulary sound balls, balls, markers, 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 choose, 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 pants, 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 pants. Yes, I will seven, seven. Yes, balls, 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 markers, markers, choose, 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 pants, 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 grabs, grab, grab, grabs, 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 books, 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 dance, dance, cell phone, cell phone, cell phone, birds, 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 keys, 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 office, 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 grace, 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 great, 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 cartoons, 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 nuts, 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 hawks, 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 nuts, nuts, nuts. I ran to catch the birds. I ran, I, I ran to catch the birds. 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 Carters rose in a funny sharp, 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 sharp. He took he took a night class. 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 Her grandmother gave her the red bracelet. Bracelet. Her grandmother gave her the bracelet. 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 Her grandmother gave her the bracelet. She was a palace dancer. Palace dancer. Palace dancer. Palace dancer. She was a palace dancer. Christmas. Christmas is a holiday in December. Christmas is a holiday in December. Christmas is a holiday in December. Zelda, Zelda, Zelda saw a zillion, zealots, 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 zealous, 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 zealous. Zelda saw a zillion, zealous, 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 zig and zant zoomed in their huge suits, 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 zig, there and then, zig, zig and then zoomed in their huge suit. Desiring, 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 desiring. Mhm. Absolutely not. Mhm. Okay. I have some listening. For a long time, I've been still listening. Yes, now I'm listening.
Part 1.
Good morning. Thanks for coming in to see us here at the agency, Joe. I'm one of the agency representatives, and my name's Sally Baker.
Hi, Sally. I think we spoke on the phone, didn't we?
That's right, we did. So thank you for sending in your CV. We've had quite a careful look at it, and I think we have 2 jobs that might be suitable for you.
Okay.
The first one is in a company based in North London. They're looking for an administrative assistant.
Okay. What sort of company is it?
They're called Home Solutions, and they design and make furniture.
Oh, I don't know much about that, but it sounds interesting.
Yes, well, as I said, they want someone in their office, and looking at your past experience, it does look as if you fit quite a few of the requirements. So on your CV, it appears you've done some data entry?
Yes.
So that's one skill they want. Then they expect the person they appoint to attend meetings and take notes there.
Okay. I've done that before, yes.
And you need to be able to cope with general admin.
Filing and keeping records and so on. But that should be okay. And in my last job, I also had to manage the diary.
Excellent. That's something they want here too. I'd suggest you add it to your CV. I don't think you mentioned that, did you?
No.
So, as far as the requirements go, they want good computer skills, of course, and they particularly mention spreadsheets.
That should be fine.
And interpersonal skills, which would be something they'd check with your references.
I think that should be okay, yes.
Then they mention that they want someone who is careful and takes care with details. Just looking at your CV, I'd say you're probably all right there.
I think so, yes. Do they want any special experience?
I think they wanted some experience of teleconferencing.
Oh, I've got 3 years' experience of that.
Let's see. Yes, good. In fact, they're only asking for at least 1 year, so that's great. So is that something that might interest you?
It is, yes. The only thing is, you said they were in North London, so it would be quite a long commute for me.
Okay. So the second position might suit you better as far as the location goes. That's for a warehouse assistant, and that's in South London.
Yes, that would be a lot closer.
And you've worked in a warehouse before, haven't you?
Yes.
So as far as the responsibilities for this position go, they want someone who could manage the stock, obviously, and also deliveries.
That should be okay. You've got to keep track of stuff, but I've always been quite good with numbers.
Good. That's their first requirement. And they want someone who's computer literate, which we know you are.
Sure.
Then they mention organisational skills. They want someone who's well organised.
Yes, I think I am.
And tidy?
Yes, they go together really, don't they?
Sure. Then the usual stuff. They want someone who can communicate well, both orally and in writing.
Okay. And for the last warehouse job I had, one of the things I enjoyed most was being part of a team. I found that was really essential for the job.
Excellent. Yes, they do mention that they want someone who's used to that, yes. Now, when you were working in a warehouse last time, what sorts of items were you dealing with?
It was mostly bathroom and kitchen equipment, sinks and stoves and fridges.
So you're okay moving heavy things?
Sure. I'm quite strong, and I've had the training.
Good. Now, as far as experience goes, they mention they want someone with a licence and that you have experience of driving in London, so you can cope with the traffic and so on.
Yes, no problem.
And you've got experience of warehouse work. And the final thing they mention is customer service. I think, looking at your CV, you're okay there.
Right. So, what about pay? Can you tell me a bit more about that, please?
Part 2.
My guest on the show today is Alice Riches, who started the Street Play scheme where she lives in Beechwood Road. For those of you that don't already know, Street Play involves local residents closing off their street for a few hours so that children have a chance to play in the streets safely. She started it in her own street, Beechwood Road, and the idea caught on. And there are now street play schemes all over the city. So when did you actually start the scheme, Alice?
Well, I first had the idea when my oldest child was still a toddler. So that's about 6 years ago now. But it took at least 2 years of campaigning before we were actually able to make it happen. So the scheme's been up and running for 3 years now. We'd love to be able to close our road for longer, for the whole weekend, from Saturday morning until Sunday evening, for example. At the moment, it's just once a week. But when we started, it was only once a month. But we're working on it.
So what actually happens when Beechwood Road is closed?
We have volunteer wardens, mostly parents, but some elderly residents too, who block off our road at either end. The council have provided special signs, but there's always a volunteer there to explain what's happening to any motorists. Generally, they're fine about it. We've only had to get the police involved once or twice. Now, I should explain that the road isn't completely closed to cars, but only residents' cars are allowed. If people really need to get in or out of Beechwood Road, it's not a problem as long as they drive at under 20 kilometres per hour. But most people just decide not to use their cars during this time, or they park in another street. The wardens are only there to stop through traffic.
So can anyone apply to get involved in street play?
Absolutely. We want to include all kids in the city, especially those who live on busy roads. It's here that demand is greatest. Obviously, there isn't such demand in wealthier areas where the children have access to parks or large gardens, or in the suburbs where there are usually more places for children to play outside. I'd recommend that anyone listening who likes the idea should just give it a go. We've been surprised by the positive reaction of residents all over the city, and that's not just parents. There are always a few who complain, but they're a tiny minority. On the whole, everyone is very supportive and say they're very happy to see children out on the street, even if it does get quite noisy. There have been so many benefits of street play for the kids. Parents really like the fact that the kids are getting